Okay, lady. Oh, is that really loud? Can you guys hear me okay? Is this one a little bit, this one a little better? Okay, okay. So my name is Gwen Roth, and I work for the Hamilton County Conservation District, and I run the Ohio Caring for Our Watersheds program. Caring for Our Watersheds is an international program. It takes place in 4 places in Canada. It's also in the DC area, the state of Ohio, Greeley, Colorado, and Sacramento, California, and also in Argentina. And I tell you that, you guys know that you are not competing against any of those students, but literally students all over the world are doing similar things to what it is that you are doing. So before we get started with our contest, I am an educator at heart, and I have a captive audience. So you guys have to listen to me before you came here to listen to what you actually came to listen to. So to start off with, I would like to thank our funders. Nutrien has funded this program for 15 years. That's me with the Soil and Water Conservation District, and Katie Naniger is here. I'm sorry, Katie Williams is here with the Nutrients for Life, and I will introduce her in a little bit later on. So I'm going to play a video for you. And while you do that, don't pay attention to me because I'm going to shut these doors because they're doing an elephant talk, if you guys can't hear that.
What is a watershed? Is it a shed that holds water? Nah, try again. A watershed is all of the land that drains into the same location or body of water. People tend to think only of water bodies such as rivers, lakes, and wetlands as being part of their watershed. However, any land, whether it is park, farm, forest, school parking lot, and even the soil we build our homes on is also included. Think of a watershed as a funnel, collecting all the water within a specific area and draining into the nearest body of water. Drop by drop, water is channeled into soil, groundwater, creeks and streams, making its way to larger rivers and eventually the ocean. Everyone in the world lives in a watershed. Watersheds know no political borders, whether local, national, or international. Our environment, our economy, and our society all depend on a healthy watershed.
Okay, most of the students have already seen this video. Most of these students, I've gone out to your classroom and I've presented this contest back in September of last year to say, hey, this is a contest, you guys should get involved. Some of you made that choice on your own, and some of you, the teacher made that choice for you, but obviously we are here today. So talking about a watershed, and students obviously all know this, that a watershed is not the same as a river or a lake or a stream. A watershed is that whole entire area that compasses that. It drains down into that. And when we talk about the watersheds in Ohio, Ohio is split into 2 main watersheds. So we have the Ohio River watershed, which drains parts of about 13 different states. And we have the northern part of Ohio, which drains into the Lake Erie watershed, which also includes parts of Canada. So the mission at Caring for Our Watersheds is to instill environmental awareness and stewardship in the next generation. We, as I said before, have been doing this for 15 years and really getting students to be empowered to do the things that they are doing, to come up with an idea and say, this is how we're going to do this. So how does it work? We ask students to come up with a realistic solution, okay? Here's a problem in your community, and here's a solution to that problem. So they had to come up with it all on their own. As I told the kids, I don't walk into your community and say, this is a problem, you should fix it. This is a problem that they noticed and they came up on their own with a solution to that problem. So before we get started, I know I'm kind of the face of CFW here in Ohio, and I'm the one that sends all the annoying emails to all of the students. But really, I could not do this contest without an entire village behind me. So the students wrote proposals that they turned in right before they left for winter break. And I know this was the most important thing on their mind days before leaving for winter break. Not exams, not that they got 2 weeks off, but that we have to finish our CFW proposal. Okay, so they turned those in, and we had a group of pre-sort judges read through all of those proposals. 200 plus proposals this year, and they had to narrow them down to about 40 or 50 proposals. So all of these people, many of whom are here today, actually read through all of those proposals and graded them. And then those 40 or 50 proposals went on to the next step. So we call it the written judging. So written judging, they use a rubric that's a little more intensive than the pre-sort judging, and they narrow them down to their top 10. Once students are determined to be in the top 10, they're matched up with a mentor, and that mentor kind of helps them to implement their project. Give them advice, help them find supplies, whatever it is that the students need. So those are our written judges, many of whom then also become mentors. And again, many of them sitting in the room here today. And then we also have our verbal judges. We have 5 listed on the slide, but unfortunately Pat was not able to make it today. So we have our 4 judges right here, your panel that you guys are going to stand in front of and talk. Now, I know they all look intimidating, but they're not, okay? Really, every single person in this room right now wants you to do awesome, okay? These 4 people have the hardest job in the world because they have to figure out how we're going to do placements, okay? So your final score today is 60% here today, or 65% of your presentation today, and 35% from your written proposal. Okay, and if any of you know me, you know how much I love my teachers. Okay, so this is a list of every teacher this year that participated in caring for our watersheds, many of whom have been here for years and years and years. So if you are a teacher, I'm going to ask you right now to stand up. I don't care if you're a teacher that participated in CFW or not. I want you to stand up, and I want you guys to be recognized for everything that you do. Please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys have no idea. Well, maybe you have a little bit of an idea, but these teachers go above and beyond for your students and your kids every day, not just CFW. They do so many amazing things, and I know some of you students might not appreciate them right now because you have to turn in and you have to meet your deadlines, but trust me, you'll look back and you'll say, you know what, they were really a great teacher. So thank you, thank you, thank you to all of our teachers. Also to our volunteers today, Sharon Johnson and Claudia Zare, who checked you in at the registration table. Claudia's my mama, okay? And her best friend Sharon, and they have been my registration ladies for 14 out of the last 15 years. They went on vacation one time. So a huge shout out to them. And Mindy, who is sitting in the back, Mindy, if you could hold up one of your signs there for me. So Mindy is back there, and she is going to kind of be our timer. And you guys aren't going to be able to see her, but when you're standing here and you're presenting, Mindy's going to hold up some signs to let you know how much time you have left in your presentation. Also want to shout out to Katie. Will you stand up way back there in the back, Katie? Katie Williams from Nutrients for Life. She has helped expand caring for our watersheds in Ohio to the Northeast Ohio area. So thank you so much, Katie. And to Keith, our photographer right over here, who will, I know, walk all around the room and take all the amazing photos today. And yes, all of the photos, well, not all of, A lot of the photos will be posted on our website, and I will send links to students next week about that. So you can download any of the pictures that you want. And not to stress anybody out, but we're also live streaming this, okay? But you don't even know that, so it's fine. And a final thank you to the students who way back in September, October, November, when they learned about this contest, and they're like, oh, that kind of sounds cool. And then they got chosen for a top 10, and then they're like, oh. And then they're like, wait, we actually have to do our project? Yes, you do. And they have done amazing things. They have learned amazing things along the way. They've tested out the scientific theory. They've stood in front of groups and talked. They've talked to little kids about all kinds of environmental issues, and they've just done amazing things. So really, to all of the students that are here today and to the families that are here supporting them, thank you to all you guys. Round of applause for yourselves. Okay, so now I have to do all of the, see, I have all my notes up here too. So now I have to do the housekeeping announcements. So the way we're going to set this up is each student, each group has 5 minutes to present. They know that. I've told them that no less than 400 times. Okay, so there is a timer in the back of the room. She's going to hold up a sign that's yellow that says you have 1 minute left. And then there's a sign that's orange that says you have 30 seconds left. And then there's a sign that says red that you need to finish. I'm going to be sitting over on this side of the room. And when I see Mindy hold up the finish sign, I'm going to come up here with my little pole and pull you off the pretend stage. Okay, because you know that you only have 5 minutes. And then we are going to have an opportunity for our judges to ask a few questions, okay? And then I'm going to ask you right now, if you have a cell phone, which 99% of the people in this room do, please double check that it's on silent, it's on do not disturb. For some students, this is super intimidating to get up and talk in front of you all. So we want to be as respectful as we possibly can, and to be in the middle of a presentation and hear some funky music come off because that's your cell phone ringtone is going to be a little distracting for them. So please make sure your cell phones are on silent or do not disturb. The bathrooms are located right behind this divider. I ask that you wait until the students are finished with their presentations before you hop up to the bathroom or to get a drink or to step outside, whatever that is. Again, we're trying to make it as least distractible to the students as possible. Everybody, I have no idea what I just did there. Everybody has a program. I know we're a few minutes behind on our program, but I promise we are going to try and keep track, stay on schedule for our program as much as we have today. So that is your program. And that's all I have today. I do want to congratulate every group that's in this room, whether you are a top 10 student, whether you're an honorable mention, or whether you're a special recognition. We had 205 proposals, actually 206 proposals this year that were turned in. And you are looking at the 10 best proposals in the state of Ohio. So I know we're competing for who's number one, but really, 10 best proposals out of the top 206. Everybody in this room already deserves a fabulous recognition and a fabulous round of applause. Okay, so we are ready to get started with our first group. And our first group is going to be Haven. And now I don't even have my glasses on. Haven, Sela, Evelyn, and Zoe with the No Red Rivers.
Hello, my name is Zoe,
I'm Haven.
I'm Sela.
And I'm Evelyn.
and we are No Red Rivers from Loveland, Ohio, in the Little Miami Watershed. We're here with a pop quiz. What is something half the population is forced to deal with, yet it affects everyone on Earth? You may not have guessed it, the incorrect disposal of menstrual products. Our project aims to limit the incorrect disposal of single-use menstrual products within our watershed.
But how big of a deal is it that menstrual products are being flushed? Many menstrual products contain microplastics, PFAs, also known as forever chemicals, microfibers, toxins like dioxins and furans that affect animal development, and other pollutants. When they are flushed, they can reach sanitation plants after potentially causing clogs. Though they can be scooped out, they have already leached these chemicals into the watershed and can harm the environment. 20 billion single-use menstrual products enter landfills and waterways in North America alone, says Period IO. With better education and better accessibility, we can help to combat this.
Our solution has 3 steps. First, our school. We are freshmen from Loveland High School, which is over 1,200 students. Some members on our group were even taught to flush their tampons, and this topic can be taboo, which makes educating girls in our school key. We designed 4 eye-catching posters and stickers with our slogan, "Think before you flush," to hang in each female restroom stall. We also worked with our custodians to move 11 of our sanitary bins, as many were inaccessible, and with easier reach, incentivize correct disposal. Look at this before and after. Before, very hard to dispose of correctly, but with correct placement, incentivizes correct disposal. We work with our mentors to properly allocate a large share of our budget to create many copies of our posters and stickers, which were displayed in every stall throughout our school, allowing over 600 girls to see our message daily.
Step 2 was outreach. Loveland has a very large downtown area, and it was really important to us that we reached out to them so that everyone coming and going every single day would be able to see it. All of the places that are highlighted in rainbow are places where we've implemented our project. We talked to 10 total businesses by April 10th. We have 12 stickers and 11 posters total that are already up. Our mentors worked closely with us to draft emails to these businesses and achieve the best outcomes with our message in these very popular stores. It's been seen by many. We have also reached out to Lakota, Mason, Sycamore, and so many other schools to implement our project. Once these posters are delivered in these schools, which is later outlined in our calendar, we have 2,830 girls seeing our message every single day across 5 schools.
Not every bathroom is built the same, as some are unable to house our posters and stickers. As a result, we've created an Instagram page that provides information on microplastics, project updates, sustainable menstrual products, and other such information. Posters and stickers are physical and temporary, but information shared with social media can be spread without borders. We have made over 15 posts and stories and have a total of 200 followers. However, not everyone who sees our message interacts that way. We have grown our monthly views from 1,700 all the way up to 6.3 thousand, meaning that almost 6,500 people have seen and been exposed to our message.
Through our project, we contributed to Sustainable Development Goals 5B, 6B, and 12.5. By spreading empowering information through posters and our Instagram posts, we contributed to 5B. By involving our community and businesses for improving our water quality, we contributed to 6B. And by educating everybody about the harms of menstrual products, we contributed to 12B. With No Red Rivers, we support moving the dial on social and environmental equality in the world.
To continue our project after this competition, we have a meeting with the Tree and Environment Committee of the City of Loveland at the end of May to implement our project into the city buildings and have our information on their website. We'll continue to upload on our Instagram as shown in the calendar. We'll be posting every single Wednesday, and the drop-off dates for these future schools are already posted here.
Here are the cited sources we used throughout this project. Thank you for listening, and we hope that No Red Rivers made a difference in the world, no matter how small.
Wonderful job, ladies. Thank you. Judges, do we have any questions for this group?
Good morning. Thank you for your presentation. A couple questions for you. Number one, I noticed in your budget, there wasn't any line item for the actual bins. So your program is just stickers and posters. Is that true? Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, so we work with our head custodians from Loveland High School, and they agreed to move our sanitary bins free of charge. They took care of that during spring break, a little after that. So we allocated almost our entire budget to creating 600 stickers and I think 250 posters, so we could really reach out and expand our reach through that.
I would also like to add that the bins was only a solution for our school because that would have been a lot of work to contact a ton of other custodians and would have taken too much time when it is so much easier to just spread our posters and stickers. And we're not even sure if we would have the budget to allocate because many other schools and businesses would probably expect us to pay for that. So that would have increased the cost as well.
Okay, thank you. Second question is, do you have any mechanism to follow up for the like the effectiveness of your posters? Is there a way to, like, how do you know that your posters are going to work? Do you have a process for that?
If you look at our posters, there is a QR code to our Instagram page. And so we will be checking followers on that just in case. But Haven, do you have anything else?
So I think that's a little hard to gauge the effectiveness of our posters and stickers. You know, they're physical, they're spread a lot through many, many businesses and schools. But mainly the source of our education where we can really track that is our Instagram. We have many posts, I think over 100 likes, 200 followers. We've really grown it from the beginning. And I think that really displays the amount of people we've reached.
And many of the posters are placed inside the stall facing the toilet. So many people, when they're just sitting there, they will see our posters and they will get our message.
Great. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. We are going to now give the judges just 1 or 2 minutes to write some comments down and go through the score sheet. And this is where I do my little song and dance. And I am trying to send a message to our zoo coordinator to try and figure out why that mouse keeps popping all over the place, because that's a little bit annoying. But as our judges are going through that, I do want to teach some of you guys, again, educator at heart. The students in the last presentation, they mentioned the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. We ask every single group to tie their project to at least one Sustainable Development Goal. And the Sustainable Development Goals were developed by the UN, and many hundreds, thousands of organizations across the world have committed to these 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Some of them are environmental, some of them are social justice. There's a lot of different types of goals in there, but you will see, or you should see, every student group at least talk a little bit about how their project in this tiny little corner of Southwest Ohio, or even in this tiny little area of Ohio, connects to the larger picture of what global organizations are doing. So let me get us set up for our next presentation. That was very difficult, I know. Judges, are we ready for our next group? How about 30 more seconds? Okay. Ah, fabulous. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Okay. And who's doing?
I will.
Okay. You can use this, which is backwards, or you can use the top of it.
Oh.
My name is Sophia Omelchenko.
And I'm Reese O'Leary, and we are the Cloud Catchers, our solution to reducing stormwater pollution through simple, scalable, and sustainable action. A watershed is an area of land where all the rainwater drains to the same place, like the Mill Creek watershed. Stormwater runoff is a major but often overlooked issue. When it rains, water flows over roads and lawns and picks up pollutants like fertilizers, oil, and trash and carries them untreated into our waterways. So what looks like rainwater is actually pollution.
Stormwater runoff isn't just global. It directly affects our community. When polluted water enters the Mill Creek, it harms wildlife, contributes to flooding, and damages our ecosystem over time. This means that communities like ours need simple, local action to make a meaningful, measurable difference.
Cloud Catchers is a community-driven
That was
Yeah.
my second. One more.
One more?
Yeah.
Cloud Catchers is a community-driven program that reduces stormwater pollution at the source. Instead of focusing on large-scale infrastructure, we focus on simple actions individuals can take. Our goal is to turn awareness into action by giving people clear, accessible ways to protect their watershed.
To tackle this issue, we focused on two straightforward actions. By reducing pollution at the source. Catch the Rain uses rain barrels to capture rooftop runoff before it enters the stormwater system. Adopt a Drain empowers residents to keep nearby storm drains clear. Both are easy, accessible, and scalable and create a meaningful, measurable community impact.
We formally partnered with Wyoming City Schools and presented in K-4 classrooms. We reached over 250 students and taught them about watersheds, stormwater runoff, and rain barrels. The goal was about education and helping students understand how their actions impact the environment. We made this learning hands-on. Students designed rain barrels combining creativity with environmental education. This helped them see how their ideas could translate into real-world impact. We took the student design and turned them into functional art. Each winning design was hand-painted onto a rain barrel and creating something that both looks meaningful and actively reduces runoff. These barrels were raffled off at Upcycle Day to drive engagement for Adopt a Drain.
Upcycle Day brought cloud catchers into the public eye. Our booth showcased the student-designed rain barrels, and the raffle encouraged residents to assign a raffle to Adopt a Drain. Residents could see the rain barrels and take action on the spot and learn about runoff. This made environmental education into something that was hands-on and fun and allowed us to reach residents that we would not have been able to reach otherwise. Partnerships were essential to cloud catchers. Working with the Wyoming Environmental Stewardship Commission and the Wyoming City Schools allowed us to blend education, community engagement, and environmental action. These collaborations helped us reach students, connect with families, and support the city's long-term environmental goals, creating a model that can continue for years.
Adopt a Drain is our second core action. Residents sign up, choose a nearby storm drain, and commit to clearing debris regularly. Each drain prevents about 15 pounds of debris from entering waterways each month. That's a simple action, but with measurable impact. We expanded this initiative beyond the classroom by partnering with city leadership. The mayor officially declared April as Adopt a Drain Month. This made the initiative part of the public record and embedded it into the community. This recognition reinforced the value of our work. It showed that a student-led initiative can take a complex issue and turn it into a simple, community-driven solution.
Community involvement amplified our impact. Through social media, newsletters, QR codes, and Upcycle Day outreach, we made participation simple. Every interaction helped us build a more informed and environmentally active community. Our mentors played a major role in shaping this project. They built our timeline, refined our lessons, even specifically giving us advice to ask students questions to engage them, which we directly implemented into our lessons, and navigate partnerships with schools and city leadership. Meeting regularly gave us accountability and watershed expertise. Managing our budget, which is provided to you judges, taught us how to prioritize our impact.
This project is designed to scale. We created a website and toolkit so that communities can replicate our model. Cloud Catchers isn't just a project, it's a blueprint for a broader impact.
Cloud Catchers aligns with 4 of the key UN Sustainable Development Goals: clean water and sanitation, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, and climate action. By reducing runoff, reusing stormwater, and educating families, we're building local climate resilience that shows that global goals start with local action. Oh, wait.
What happened?
Why did it went too much?
I can't go back.
Just keep reading.
Okay. We educated over 250 students, preventing 915 pounds of debris in just 1 month and over 11,000 pounds annually, with exceeding our goal by 22% with 61 drains adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. That was an amazing program. Judges, do we have any questions? Mr. Beck?
Thank you. Good presentation. On your adopted drain, how do you measure the effectiveness of that?
So it'd be kind of difficult to like measure it, but we had a Google form where they could sign up, so we measured how many people signed up, and we could be able to tell like our streets used to flood when it rained because of how much debris. So when it rains, there would be less flooding.
Thank you for your presentation. Regarding the drain program, do you have any safety concerns about people being in a public roadway like that? And if you do, what are your mitigation for safety?
I would say that most of Wyoming streets are rough, like the storm drains are right on the sidewalk, and I'd say that it's a very tight-knit community. Like most of the streets are safe. Like I know where I live, where my mom signed up to adopt a drain, we have a like back road kind of, so it's less safe there. But to ensure that people don't get injured, I would just hope that people would be able to like, because a lot of parents will bring their kids, and I'm hoping the parents will keep them off the roads, and I'm hoping people will like be smart about like keeping off the roads and stuff like that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, ladies. Excellent job, and thank you to the families who hauled rain barrels here to the zoo today. We're never going to know what we're going to ask our dads and our brothers to do for us. So thank you, gentlemen, very much for doing so. Another thing, while the judges are reviewing their scores and going through that, that group specifically talked about using their mentors. So as I mentioned before, every top 10 team was matched up with a mentor in the local community that is an expert on what it was they were talking about. So Rufaro and Gretchen mentored that group, and they work with Mill Creek Alliance and working with water quality issues within the Mill Creek watershed. So really having them teach those students a little bit more about where storm drains go and why this is important. So then those students could then go and spread the word to their community, and all of those different projects they had, and teaching the younger students and different types of things like that. So it really is, you have no idea how big the ripples are that really come from this project. So we will get ready for our next group while the judges finish that one. Thank you very much. I recognize this. Okay, so this one for you. Do you want to work this, or do you want to? You want this, or you want her to do this? Okay, so it's literally just forward and backward. Okay, and here's your microphone.
Thank you.
Judges, are we ready? Stop. Is that a...
Yeah, good.
Oh, no, I'm making eye contact. So, I will do this officially. So our next group is from Mason High School and the Yes We Can recycling bin.
Hi, everyone. My name is Hannah,
My name is Vivian.
and we're here to present our Yes We Can recycling bin. Our other two members, Kyle and Caitlin, sadly couldn't come today, but they worked hard on the project with us. Our local watershed, the Little Miami River Watershed, is located in southwestern Ohio, as seen on the map.
Recently, there has been an increased amount of waste entering a watershed, impacting the aquatic animals' fitness. Additionally, over 40% of adolescents consume energy drinks and soft drinks. If these aluminum cans can get recycled, the amount of energy required to make new aluminum is decreased by 95%, and water and waste pollution is decreased by 97%. So to fix this, we decided to create a 3-in-1 recycling bin with one side for the liquid, one side for the cans, and a pop-top collection that we will donate to the Ronald McDonald House, in which the organization will turn into funds for families with hospitalized children. Sadly, while implementing our project, we've encountered many restrictions. Our first challenge was the many levels of approval that we had to go through, such as our principal, our assistant principals, and our student activities head. One of our assistant principals, Mr. Rompes, also mentioned that the National Honor Society already had a recycling program, and for us to implement, we'll need to differ from them and have a lasting impact. Additionally, our school was slow to process a check. We received the check by late March, but it was only processed last week, which gave us little time to to buy our supplies, build our bins, which already is a long process, and implement it in our school. As a result, we had to adjust our plan accordingly. Our first change was to only make 2 bins, one for each cafeteria, to reduce our costs and allow for more thorough maintenance. And we also seeked help from our mentor, Ms. Gia, and our supervisor, Ms. Gwen, for guidance. Ms. Gia mentioned some problems our bins hold, such as potential liquid spillage. To fix this, we added a small pipe attachment, and this is also what helps us differ from NHS's program. Personally, I don't finish my energy drinks, and I always just end up throwing it away with the liquid because I find it hassle to go to the bathroom to dump it out and then come back to the classroom to recycle. Offering a drain right next to the recycling makes it much more convenient and prompts more people to actually recycle because it's right in front of them. Due to our check being processed late, we decided to go in person to Home Depot to shop with our teacher, Ms. Janeko. In the meantime, we worked with our collaborators and also made flyers and posters to promote our bins. Unfortunately, we weren't able to implement this before today, but we do plan on putting this in our school before the end of the school year.
While planning our budget in February, we expected to spend about $984.22, including the sales tax and shipping. We considered a variety of sources, including Home Depot, Walmart, and Cricket. After drafting our first draft, we reached out to Ms. Gia and asked her to provide us guidance, support, and suggestions. With her help, we were able to come up with our final budget. Home Depot actually follows sustainable forestry standards and only sources woods from responsibly managed forests and strives to decrease plastic packaging. As a result, we were able to find some supplies cheaper and even better suited for our vision. We spent about $741.84 of our total budget, and most of the significant price reductions were due to the fact that our school could provide us a Cricut with a Cricut cutter, and while we were shopping for cabinets, we were able to find cheaper ones while we were at Home Depot than anticipated. The rest of the money we plan on using to buy more recyclable bags to maintain our trash cans for the future. Our project supports several sustainable development goals, including Goal 6, to minimize the release of hazardous chemicals and materials, Target 6.3, and strengthen the participation of local communities and improving watersheds and sanitization management, 6.B. Also Goal 10, as we collect pop tops and donate them to the Ronald McDonald House, we promote social, economic, and political inclusion of all, 10.2. And finally, Goal 11, promoting access to green and public spaces, 11.7. As we are all graduating seniors, we are unable to supervise our project for next year. Thankfully, we have reached out to our school's Science National Honor Society, who have agreed to collaborate with us and help manage our bins. As an organization with over 150 members, they promote excellence in furthered education in science through many learning opportunities. As SciHS volunteers will hold many responsibilities for managing our bins next year, they will be emptying our bins, recycling all the cans, emptying the trash bags, and donating the pop tabs. As they gain new members, we hope that they continue to further our message and create a lasting impact in our school. These are our sources, and thank you for listening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Judges, questions?
Thank you. Good presentation. Could you elaborate just briefly on the construction of these bins and how you're going to take care of the liquid, how you're going to hold it and dispose of it?
We bought cabinets where we would put 2 bins under with a drain on one side and then a trash can, like typical trash can on one side. And then we're CNHS is gonna right now remove the bins every other day and dump it into the bathroom sink and rinse it that day and then put it back. That's how we're going to dispose of the liquid. And then could you repeat the last part of the question?
That was it.
Oh, okay,
You got
yeah.
it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent job, ladies. And as they mentioned, they did have 2 other team members. And when I first met Hannah and Vivian, they said, but our other 2 team members can't come to the finals, but they're going to help. And I said, that's great. That's great. So they were a 4-member team and they participated throughout the whole entire time. Another thing I do want to mention is about the budget. So all of these students have been talking about their budgets. They had up to $1,000 to implement their project from the Caring for Our Watersheds contest. Some of them use $50, $75, $100, whatever. Some of them use $1,000. It really depends on their project, what they feel they can do with that money, and how much they need to get to the reach that they can. So whether they spend $25 or $1,000, that does not affect their score at all. It is just an opportunity for them to be able to use that money to implement their idea that they had way back in September, October, whatever that was. So, judges, are we close to ready for the next one? I'll get that one set up. Can come up. Do you want to use this one? Okay, so it's just forward and backward. Okay. Here. Thank you. Oh, wait, let me introduce this. Are we ready for our next group, judges? Okay, so we have, for the first time ever in Caring for Our Watersheds, from Ridgemont High School, we have Charlie and Jocelyn.
Hi, Charlie. Did you know that the Upper Scioto River is our watershed?
And did you know that 80% of it is dedicated to farming, which creates fertilizer runoff in the water?
I did not know that. Hi, my name is Jocelyn Henderson.
And I'm Charlie Martell, and we're both freshmen from Ridgemont FFA.
In our watershed, we have a lot of runoff from farmland, and nitrogen and phosphorus is something that needs an additional treatment to be able to meet drinking standards.
And this water affects nearly 1 million people in Columbus and surrounding communities.
In this picture, it shows how the runoff is going into the water and how we plan to cure it, with the roots being able to suck up all of the nutrients and sediments that we do not want in our water.
And this is our final product. This is the floating garden. We have 3 different designs, and this is our first one. This is the material that we use for the bottom for the plants, and this is the upcycle conduit that we use that you all have a sample of. And next, I want to mention who we collaborated with. First, I want to mention FFA's environmental community for future generations to upkeep on our gardens and to recreate them and plant them in different areas if necessary. And I also want to mention our mentor, Lindsay Horan, for meeting with us and giving us advice and guidance on our project.
I also completed another study to be able to test which foam we wanted to fill the end of the tubes with to be able to make our water garden float. And through this study, we found that there was no statistical significance giving off any harmful bacteria into the water.
This is our final budget. We came to a total amount of $999.02. And I want to mention that all of the materials that we use for our water lessons for our elementary was funded by Ridgemont FFA.
We also wanted to make sure that we use locally sourced stores to use, so we used our local Home Depot and New Leaf to get our plants for our water garden. In our first sustainable development goals, we used 6.3, and we did that by creating our floating garden, being able to absorb all the excess nutrients and trap sediments and reduce the erosion through this project.
The next one we focused on was 12.5, which is responsible consumption and production. And we worked with a local internet company, Speedwaves, to upcycle this conduit to create our floating gardens and to reduce landfill waste.
The next one would be 14.1, and we created our floating gardens not only to be able to reduce the phosphorus and nitrogen in our water, but be able to create a habitat for fish and other animals in the water.
The last one we focused on is 15.5, which is life on land, because our watershed is not just a river, but it is the air, the land, and the water. First, we started with our design. We had to first create this idea with the conduit and make sure that it would float with our foam.
The next, we wanted to make sure we had a lot of innovation through this project. So by doing that, we used upcycled conduit from our local internet company, Speedwaves, and that is what that orange stuff that we passed out to you was.
Next, we wanted to involve our community, and we taught all of our elementary, which is around 300 students, and we included 85% of high school students, and we come from a small school, so that's around 110 students, to create water lessons for the elementary.
One of our main challenges was having a frost delay our implantation time to be able to put our floating garden into the water. So with this being said, we didn't want to have anything harmful happen to our plants. So we will be putting our final project into the water on May 8th.
First, we wanted to gamify our lessons to make sure that they were entertaining for the elementary, but to make sure that they are also learning from it.
Next, we wanted to make sure that we post our group photo waiver throughout our whole school when we are doing these lessons to allow families to know what was going on.
Then we actually taught our elementary, and we used a whole day for our ag classes in our elementary school to teach our elementary students.
Next, we wanted to make sure to include our elementary kids in our launch of these floating wetlands on May 8th so they knew what was going on in their local watershed.
Overall, our solution is innovative, low cost, and visually engaging.
We wanted to install our floating gardens that we constructed with our conduit and also support native plants that we use, such as soft stem bulrush, blue flag iris, and pickler wheat.
This is our blue flag iris. And then finally, I want to mention that we engaged 85% of our high school and all of our elementary, and we taught them about the water cycle, what a watershed is, and 4 different SDG goals.
Here are our sources that we used throughout this project. Thank you for listening. We will now welcome any questions.
Yeah, how did you know? I have all kinds of questions. Great project. So is the intent, is this going to be free floating on the water, or will it be anchored?
We will be using anchors to be able to hold it into one spot using cinder blocks as the anchor.
I also want to mention that we are keeping our environmental community for future generations updated in this project to check in with it in future years.
I've seen this on an international scale. Have you done any research and compared with what they're doing?
Yes, we have used it research. All these sources, we compared them back to our project and took some of their ideas and tried to make them better.
We also researched our plants. We used 3 different plants, and we wanted to make sure that they all work together well and they all each have their own purpose. Because we'll be putting all of them in one watershed. They're not just all going to have their own. They'll be working together.
Hi. Nice work. You said you're going to implement May 8th.
Yes.
How many of these floating gardens are you planning to install?
We have 3, and we're putting them all 3 in 3 different locations.
We have a small pond or lake in the back of our school, and that's where we first tested if it would float, and that's where the first one is going. And then we have rivers around local farms that we actually reached out to our county's farm bureau, and they wanted to be involved in our project.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much, ladies. I will just have to tell you, every single year I'm involved in caring for our watersheds, the ideas just keep coming. It's not the same projects over and over and over, and the things that high school students can come up with to make our world a better place is pretty amazing. I also wanted to highlight the learning as you go aspect of caring for our watersheds. You guys had an idea months and months and months ago and said, hey, let's do this. And then when you actually have a chance to do that, like, how is that actually going to work? So we have to do the testing behind that. We have to build prototypes. We have to do education programs and then redo education programs. So it's an amazing learning experience that is not just implementing the environmental impact, but also learning all those other soft skills that go along with that. So we are going to do one more presentation before we have our break. And judges, are we ready for our next one? Okay. Yeah. So there's one who wants to do the slide. Okay. It's literally just forward and backward. Okay. You're going to stand over there with me, okay? Oh, let me introduce you first. Okay, are we ready, judges? Okay, so we have Sammy, Luciana, and Annie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sammy Shane.
I'm Luciana Diaz-Serpa.
And I'm Annie Walls.
We're from Wyoming High School, and this is our project From Trash to Treasure. Imagine a heavy rainstorm hits Cincinnati. Water hits the pavement, rushes over parking lots, and sweeps up every piece of litter in its path, dumping it into the Mill Creek. Breaking the cycle of pollution can feel impossible, but the solution starts with a child's imagination, a pair of scissors, and a splash of paint. And that's why we created From Trash to Treasure.
We live in the Mill Creek Watershed, which spans an area of 169 square miles and makes a heavy impact on the community, individuals, and organizations located within its sections of 3 counties. A watershed is often referred to as a drainage basin, which is a land area that channels runoff and rainwater into a selective body of water. One pressing issue in the Cincinnati watershed is the ever-growing pollution. In 1997, Mill Creek was named the most endangered urban river in North America. The Mill Creek is heavily urbanized, meaning that litter from parks, streets, or illegally dumped is carried into stormwater runoff, therefore into storm drains, and unfiltered into the creek and its remaining rivers.
Like Annie mentioned just a second ago, when it rains, a lot of the trash from the streets ends up being washed up into our local waterways. This is a major issue because plastic pollution has a long-term environmental effect. When plastic breaks down, it turns into microplastics. This doesn't only affect water quality that affects us as a community, but also wildlife.
Our solution is creating an exciting and informational how-to book that showcases 5 crafts using recycled materials. Our bilingual craft book features creative ideas that showcase environmental waste turned into crafts, teaching kids to reimagine common household waste into a resource. By teaching kids to reimagine trash into a resource, we are turning environmental stewardship into an engaging and educational tool for children. This hands-on approach empowers future generations to reduce pollution while fostering community inclusivity through English and Spanish instruction.
So we originally got the idea for this project through our shared love of creative and crafty projects, as you can see by our shirts, and a love for the environment. So it was easy for us to get started because we automatically had 5 unique craft picks out. And then as for the materials, we just started collecting them around our house and recycling them. Then for the budget, we only had one real expense, which was actually printing the book. And other than that, like I said, we recycled the materials or we got them donated by our mentors. But as you can see by the 2 different budget sheets, we did run into a couple issues that Luciana will talk more about in a minute, but we ended up being about $100 over the originally intended budget. But thanks to our amazing teacher, Miss Majors, who covered the cost, we were able to be okay. Then for the book itself, this was the most time-consuming and tedious part of the entire process because we had to first pick an app and then take and upload all of the pictures, creating a detailed how-to step for each craft in English and Spanish, as well as making it look pretty.
During this time, it wasn't all sunshines and rainbows. The first problem we came across with were some of their crafts were not kid safe. This is a major issue because their book is specifically meant for children. After we figured that out, we came across another problem. Our formatting wasn't right and we couldn't print our book. This didn't only happen once, but twice. But from help from our wonderful librarian and our amazing teacher, we were able to find an app that worked just perfect for us. After this, we could take our next step. Implementation. We took a trip over to Heartfelt Tibbets, our local nonprofit organization, where we didn't only do the crafts with the children, we also taught them what the watershed was and why they should care and cherish it. After this, we went to 5 different libraries where we donated 2 to 3 books so anyone could access it from there. And lastly, we uploaded our book and videos into YouTube channel and Book Creator. These videos went into an extent of what we did with the crafts in both English and Espanol. And lastly, anyone could access it from anywhere from the internet.
Our project contributes majorly to 4 of the SDGs, numbers 4, 10, 11, and 12. It contributes to 4 and 10 by being an all-encompassing educational tool. Our project focuses on informing and hands-on education and awareness. This means that we are making learning fair for everyone by teaching children to protect the earth in easy ways to understand. It also contributes to goals 11 and 12 by using recycled materials. We are making communities inclusive, safe, resilient, and ensuring sustainable consumption. By launching this local project, we are taking the global movement to reach the SDGs, proving that small-scale change can create a ripple effect anywhere, and cleaner cities and smarter consumption habits everywhere can be implemented.
Our project is unique because we don't only encourage people to learn and educate themselves, we also encourage them to take action. With our bilingual craft book, people will learn how to reuse, and recycle.
So next time you ask yourself, how can I help my local watershed? Start by speaking the languages of the people that live there. By combining environmental science and bilingual creativity, we're not just cleaning the Mill Creek, but we're empowering all of Cincinnati's residents to turn their trash to treasure.
Thank you.
Wonderful, I love it. And matching shirts, too. Questions?
You mentioned the difficulty in making them child safe, your projects. Was the material the problem or the product the problem?
So actually, our whole craft was the problem. We wanted to make a wind chime, and to do that project, we needed like a big can and some metal like bottle caps. The problem is so for you to be able to put the string through it, you had to grab a hammer and kind of nail a small hole into it. And obviously, small children can't really do that. Even us as teenagers, we could get hurt. So we just ended up taking that out of the book.
Good morning. Great presentation. Do you have any metric on how many books that you've either given away or what your download, how many people downloaded your book and material? Any metric on that?
Yeah, so we got 40 books and then we gave about 10 of them to Heartfelt Tidbits and then the rest were given to the libraries. And so we looked it up and about 50,000 people go to libraries each year. So we know, and Heartfelt Tidbits also has about 50,000 people visiting each year. So we think that's about the metric along with our YouTube channel and the upload to Book Creator. Anyone can access the internet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Excellent job from all 5 of the groups we've had so far already. And now we are going to take a short little break. We have a 15-minute break scheduled. So if you need to use the restrooms, and if these restrooms are full, there are also restrooms downstairs. You can step out on the patio, go out and get some fresh elephant-smelling air, and we'll see you back here at 11:50. Finding it really good to be closer to here instead of, okay. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Not this. Yes, yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you could find your seats again. We have our next group that is just itching to go. And we have another microphone. Oh, thank you. Let me double check that it's on. There you go. Oh, and you don't want this presentation, you actually want your presentation.
Am I good to go whenever?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will get started with our next project. We have Jack, Nicholas, and Luke with their Eco Brick Bench.
Hello, everyone. My name is Luke Doherty. That's Jack Myers, and this is Nikki Gordon. We are from Loveland High School, and our idea was the Eco Brick Bench.
The main issue that we're focusing on is the amount of trash that's entering our landfill and is being littered throughout our environment.
Our solution to this issue is with the Eco Brick. With this Eco Brick, we take multi-layered plastic that cannot be recycled and stuff it packed tightly into bottles. These bottles can then be used to make a bench, as we did.
A little bit about this bench. We did a wooden back frame wrapped in chicken wire to ensure stability for students who sit on it. And then the bottom, as you can see here, is cinder blocks, which are stuffed with about 4 Eco Bricks in each cinder block to ensure as much trash can be stuffed away into this bench as possible. And the amount of trash that was stuffed away is about 46.8 pounds of trash in total.
And with that 46.8 pounds of trash, we had 144 Eco Bricks in total. That averaged out to 147.4 grams of trash in each Eco Brick. We used the help of 45 different volunteers from NHS to help make these Eco Bricks. And the trash came from multiple sources: our school cafeteria, our own houses, and Cincinnati Country Day School. And over here, we have a little diagram showing how much trash can go in one Eco Brick. Here's one bottle, and all of this trash is 147.4 grams. And this all can fit in this plastic water bottle.
Here's a little bit about our construction, what we're building our bench out of. We're building our bench out of a material known as cob. This cob is created using a mixture of clay, sand, straw, and water. We mix this using our bare hands and our feet. It gets pretty messy. We mix it until it turns into a thick paste, and then we can apply this cob to the bench. We also contacted some experts in the cob construction to ensure that we had the correct ratio of the mixture, and this helped us ensure that our bench would be structurally sound.
This is a little diagram of the construction process. We started out by just packing as many Eco Bricks as possible with our volunteers. Then we constructed the back frame, measuring to ensure that as many Eco Bricks can fit in that as possible. Then we started by constructing the bench and layering the first row of cinder blocks. And then we started making the cobs, which you can see here. We were just mushing it with our feet. And then we apply the cob day after day. We installed a small window so that people sitting on the bench could see what is actually being stored in the bench and like what the purpose of the bench is. And then over there is our finished product.
Through our bench, we've hit 2 of the Sustainable Development Goals. First off, we hit target 12.5, and by putting all of our trash in the bricks, we're substantially reducing the waste generation through prevention and reuse. And then we're also hitting target 14.1 by keeping all this trash, which could potentially be littered throughout our watershed and our environment, and we're putting it in the bottles.
You may ask, why does this matter? Research has shown that over 1,500 pounds of trash is picked out of the Little Miami watershed every single year. This is a lot of trash. I can tell you personally, stuff in those bottles. But with the Eco Bricks, we hope we can start to make a change by reducing the amount of trash that is heading into the watershed. We also hope that this bench can inform others on how to make an Eco Brick and reduce that trash.
Our mentorship, we hosted 3 production days with volunteers from NHS and just around our school, that with around 20 students at the first production day, and our mentor, Hannah Trotta, was able to make one of these production days. She was able to look over us, make sure we were packing the bottles tightly, make sure we were doing everything correctly, and that we would save as much trash from potentially being littered and being in our environment as possible. And we had around 45 volunteers total who were able to learn about what we were doing.
Now you may be asking how we're going to maintain the bench. Well, first off, we're going to cover the entire thing with boiled linseed oil to make sure that people actually want to sit on it and they don't just want to sit on like sand. And then we will also carry out regular inspections next year and throughout our high school from our green team. And then here's our budget, and we ended with $991 spent. And then these are our citations.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys. How long did it take to make a brick?
It takes anywhere from I would say 15 to an hour debating on what trash you're using.
Okay, and then one more here. Just could you speak into what you think it might take to incentivize other people to divert trash in such a way using your model?
I think that we could really share this idea just by making more of what we've did here and turning it into more of a creative aspect, and not just using the bottle just to take up less surface area in our landfill, but also turning it into creative ideas such as a bench or anything you can put around the school, or really anywhere. Which one?
Another thing that I think would encourage people to make them is that I think that they look pretty cool in itself. They're really colorful, and you also just know that you're really helping out the environment when you make these bricks. We also posted a video on how to make them on our Instagram account, which has over 250 followers and gets thousands of views. So we're kind of sharing how you can make a brick and the benefits of making these bricks.
Also, because these bricks can be so easily made at home, all you need is a plastic water bottle and garbage. I think it's just a really easy way for people to do this at home, maybe start that practice and kind of normalize making these eco bricks.
First of all, can you go back to your budget? I'd like to see how much you spent on pizza. In a more serious question, though, you guys talked about your maintenance and how you're going to keep an eye on it while you're in school. What do you have in mind for, let's say, 10 years down the road? What's going to prevent somebody from saying, hey, we got to move this bench. Look, there's all this trash in here. I'm going to throw it away. Do you have a mechanism to prevent that moving forward?
Sorry. So we don't plan on moving the bench really, because we had a recent project for a green team, which is our class that Ms. Nakata teaches. And so we worked with, I forget the exact name of the organism, but we made a garden. So we put this bench in the garden just to so people could sit on it, look at the nature, and increase biodiversity with the nature. And yeah, so there's not really a plan to have to move this bench in the future.
Also, with the class of green team, that is a formal organization at Loveland. I think with Ms. Nakata, she will help the future students take care of the bench many years down the road. Also, the bench is in part of a outdoor classroom that is in honor of a teacher that passed away 2 years ago. So it's a pretty special area. So I don't see it being removed as well.
Appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
Excellent job. Thank you. And I will say, as we're finishing up from that last group, Hannah, their mentor, texted me last night and was so upset that she couldn't be here this morning because her husband was sick. So she didn't want to get everybody else in the room sick. So, okay. And who wants to do that? Okay. Judges, are we ready for our next group? Okay. So our next group from Mount Notre Dame High School, we have Millie and Miranda with the Light It Up project.
Hello, my name is Miranda Katie. I'm a senior here at Mount Notre Dame.
My name is Millie Sherwood, and I am a junior at Mount Notre Dame High School.
We did our project called Light It Up project, and it is the main purpose of this proposal was to create more sustainable lighting. And I'm just going to start off with a quick question. For everyone raise your hand, like how much do you think light pollution dilutes our stars? Like if you knew that it did dilute our stars. So it does so much more than just that. We'll get into it here in just a second. So our watershed is the Mill Creek watershed. It's about 8 minutes away from our school, and it consists of about 450,000 people, over 300,000 miles of streams. So what we do on our campus affects directly the biodiversity of these ecosystems. So what was the problem? So obviously the light pollution. So we discovered that white light bulbs, an outdoor, is about 60 watts per light bulb, and it gives out per hour. And then our red light ones that we were researching give about 5 to 10 watts per hour. So the problem with the white lights is that they also harm the nocturnal animals' life cycles, and also they contribute to so much energy being wasted, and it goes directly out and it dilutes our stars while also impacting biodiversity. Why it matters. So it contributes to so much energy use, and it also does go hand in hand with our SDG 7 and SDG 13 goals, which are sustainable energy and clean energy that can be shared around the world. So our fossil fuels directly go straight into our mills, water creeks, and they affect the water quality and distract animals and insects from the natural wildlife patterns, making the animals that feed on them, so like the food web, already unstable. So our solution was the red light bulbs. So at the top there's a little solar, which helps create the more sustainable idea of it instead of using fossil fuels to power and generate these lights. They're less harmful to wildlife and don't distract the animals as much, and they're renewable energy, and we were educating for long-term impact. So the white light bulb, the difference between the white light bulb and the red light bulb is about 80 to 85% difference in how much it affects the outdoor, how much like watts it uses.
So for implementation, the first thing we did was to install them and test them so we can measure all the data. And we also made this poster to share with our Earth Action team at our school, which is very active in our community, and they're always on the announcements telling us tips and tricks of how to reduce our effect on the environment in our area specifically. And so we plan to put posters around the school, and we also made take-home bags for other people in our community so we can spread our impact to a wider area. And it's what's in the bag for you guys. So the effect of our project, what we first measured was the difference between the white lights versus the red lights in their wattage, and we found that the red lights save about 27 cents per light, which adds up to about $30 to $45 of savings per month per light. So that's a big difference, and it has a good effect for saving money and for the environment. And so we also noticed that the amount of insects affected by the red lights decreased significantly because they're less drawn to the white lights than to the red lights, than the white lights, which improves the balance between in the local food webs. So majority of our budget was spent on the lights and on the education aspects because we want to make this project repeatable so that it can spread to other areas. And much to the dismay of our mentors, we want to keep this cheaper and less money spent so it's easily repeated.
All right, for our impact and conclusion, we wanted to be able to have this project be repeatable and replicable. So, so we try to keep as close as keep the budget down as best as possible. So it's a student-led involvement, and that we can be able to make the impact last longer. And it protects our biodiversity, it reduces energy use, and also creates small change with a big impact. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent job, ladies. Judges, you are just amassing a lot of stuff up here. I love it. Questions?
Oh boy, it's the engineer.
You know, sorry about that. Very good presentation.
Thank you.
Appreciate your presentation. What about trying to advertise this or broadcast it to a larger audience? Have you thought about that, or do you have a plan for that?
Right. So obviously we started out in our school, you know, we wanted to be able to grow it bigger and larger. Our Earth Action team actually goes out around our community to start spreading more and more awareness. So when we gave the presentation here, they were going to spread it when they went out into our communities. Now, I do understand that I am a senior, but she is a junior, so she has at least one more year to go. But I think being able to, with also the students being able to see the red lights when they come into our school around like the areas, that they will be like, why is there a red light here? Like, so I think just asking that question is the beginning to a bigger conversation.
Great, thank you.
Excellent job, ladies. Oh, the next group would not appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, as we mentioned, as we're letting the judges finish up from that last one, I did pull up the slide from our judges, but I didn't really introduce them much. On my right, your left, this gentleman right here is Eric Beck. He is our county engineer. Next to Eric, we have Emily Hepner, and she is the assistant chief. These are a lot of acronyms. The Ohio Department of Agriculture, Division of Soil and Water Conservation. So the funding source for the Conservation District. We have Scott Huber, who works for Abercrombie and Associates as a chief engineer. And we have Lauren Walker, who is a former school teacher and current Conservation District board member. So lots of different backgrounds and aspects from our different judges today. So, this one. Now, unfortunately, we did have a team that was unable to attend today, so we are going to skip on to our final presentation for the day. Judges, are we ready to start that one? Okay. Rap is unable to be here today. Yep. So we are going to move on with Raylan and Nina from Wyoming High School and their projects, Dolls for All. Here's one. And do you want to do this, or do you want Nina to do this?
I can do that.
Okay, so it's literally just forward and backward. Okay.
Wait, can I just...
Microphone. Get your stuff out of your way.
You want me to be on the other side?
Okay.
I'm Nina Myatt,
And I'm Raylan Pilson,
and we are presenting Dolls for All.
a community toy drive and workshop to improve our watershed.
But to first understand the toy drive, we have to address our watershed and the problems within it. So the Ohio River watershed spans about 14 states, but especially affecting 6 of them, with 25 million people living around the watershed, which is 10% of the US population. What you didn't know is that the pollution in this watershed, 82% of it comes from plastics. And what you didn't know about these plastics, you may think plastic water balls or other plastic objects, but they really include toys as well, which is why
we chose a toy drive. So toys have been a very pivotal part of our childhood, as I'm sure many of you can relate. And the idea arose when we realized just how many kids go without toys and how that can impact their overall development. And then we did a little bit more research, and we were just realizing how many industries are producing thousands of pounds of plastics each year into our streams and landfills, which is very detrimental and harmful and wasteful. And according to Yale's environmental review, 60 million Barbie dolls are sold each year alone, which are contributing emissions equivalent to burning 381 million gallons of gasoline.
So here is our solution. We created a toy drive that lasted around 2 weeks in our local community and schools. And then after the toy drive, we collected all the toys and did a workshop for the cleaning to make sure they were disinfected to ultimately go to our recipients where we would donate and recycle the toys.
So the road to cleanliness. Before the drive could actually begin, we had a lot of research and planning that went into it, which is where our mentor Rachel really helped us out. We created a lot of flyers like the one you see here, and we collaborated with Student Council and NHS in order to get the word out. And our mentor helped us with weekly meetings, messages, emails, in which she helped us figure out logistics, marketing strategies, and she was ultimately the reason why we were able to extend our drive from 1 week to 2 weeks, which I think is why we were able to be so successful with how many items we received, which was one of our initial fears that we weren't going to get a lot of feedback.
So here is the clean, which is our workshop. We had 16 volunteers, sophomores and juniors that set aside their extracurriculars to help us with the drive, which is especially hard in spring. I know the juniors know how difficult and stressed out we are right now. But the organization, we organized them from stuffed animals to dolls to electronics to ultimately clean them and make them appear clean as well, look good, to transport them to shelters and recycling centers.
So the big picture. We wanted our project to help locally, but we also wanted to expand on a more global level as well, which is why we created our social media campaign to reach a larger audience. In such a short amount of time, we were able to reach over 3,000 people and have 5 meaningful posts in which we shared the dangers of polluting watersheds, why it's important to keep them clean, and what they can do in relation with our project to help locally in their own communities. So like it could be something as replicating the drive, or it could be something as simple as just going their own homes and cleaning out their toys and donating them.
So in this photo alone, there are 80 stuffed animals, but in total we had 643 toys, which is a 327% increase from our original goal. In this, we saved polyvinyl chlorides, bisphenol A, phthalates, and many more toxic substances from harming the organisms in our environment. When tiny organisms consume these toxic substances, they can biomagnify and harm humans and other organisms in our community. So this minuscule impact really has a bigger impact than you think.
For the SDG goals that we targeted, our project aligns with 2 of the main ones: clean water and sanitation, and responsible consumption and production. We specifically address 6.3 water quality by diverting plastic toys from landfills, preventing chemicals from leaching into them. And to promote responsible production and consumption, we address this by 12.4 and 12.5 by reducing the amount by waste reduction, and we measured our impact by the volume of materials that were reduced and recycled. And our ultimate goal was to have more of like a toy circularity model where there would be less toys being produced in the first place.
So here are the places we donated to: Matthew 25, which gives resources to natural disaster survivors; Heartfelt Tidbits, which gives resources to immigrants and refugees; Bethany's House, so it's shelters, women and children, and our local recycling center. Thank you for your time.
I do not remember the percent increase, but 643 toys is pretty impressive. Questions?
Thank you for your presentation. Just a couple questions for you. One, you talked about how you're cleaning the toys before you send them out. So do you have a quality control sequence that you go through to say, yes, you're going to clean the toy correctly, or yes, this toy is cleaned correctly? Could you explain that a little bit, how you assure that the toy is clean enough to send out?
So one of the things we did in our workshop that happened in the day, we gave specific instructions for each toy. So for example, the electronics, we had them take out the batteries and use Clorox wipes and tiny like scrubbers to get the debris out. Or like for the dolls, we clean them and make sure they look good, especially on like on this slide, we used Clorox wipes and we used hairspray to make it appear good and actually clean. And we really had specific instructions. And for a couple of days, I actually stayed after school to make sure loads of dolls were cleaned in the washer and dryer in our school. So really, even though even though there's one day, there was a lot of effort put behind it to make sure these were effectively cleaned.
Great. What about toys that, just were beyond repair, or, the electronics was broken or something like that? What did you do with the toys that you collected but you couldn't send out?
Thankfully, our community donated a lot of gently used toys, but for toys that were beyond repair, we had to end up recycling them if they were recyclable. And the last ditch effort was going to be putting them in landfills, but we figured that the amount of toys that were reduced because of our project made it worth it in the end.
And ultimately, only 2 toys had to be disposed of because it was two of the dolls, which they literally like burst. So we couldn't really do anything about it. But I would rather it only be those 2 toys. And we, again, are thankful for our community bringing only gently used toys. And some of them brought brand new toys, to which we donated to Bethany's House.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Congratulations. Okay, so I'm sure that we can all be very, very proud. Okay, I'm sure we can all be very, very proud of all of our students and the amazing job that they did. So I want one more giant round of applause for everybody. And again, to remember that this is the top 8 now of the state of the 206 projects that we had that were first turned in early January, late December kind of thing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a slightly larger break because this is where the time where the judges actually go and they get to tabulate all the scores and we get to figure out all the winners. So we're going to have lunch that is going to be set up here in just a few minutes. What I ask is that we have the judges go through the lunch line first, and then I'm going to take them away into seclusion, and we're going to talk about scores and tabulate scores and work everything out. And then everybody else is allowed to grab lunch. And then I encourage you to wander around the greenest zoo in America. That is why we partner with the zoo, because they have so many amazingly sustainable things that they do here at the zoo. And if any of you saw on social media, when they were building Elephant Trek, underneath where, I don't know how much an elephant weighs, tons of pounds of elephants, there is a water catchment area where they actually collect all the rainwater and they reuse that water for Fiona, for their penguins, different types of things like that. So they do a lot of rainwater recycling. They do a lot of stormwater catchment. A lot of the issues that the students were talking about here today, they are tackling in real life at the zoo. So you can see really how we make those connections to the next step. So after lunch, again, I encourage you to go out and to wander the zoo. We are going to meet back in this room for our awards ceremony at 2:30. So I encourage you to come back here 2:15, 2:20, so that you're ready for our awards ceremony and we can move on to that. Okay? Again, congratulations to all of our students, and we will have lunch out here in just a second. Testing, testing. Okay. I think this is the good microphone. So again, I want to thank everybody for coming back, for all of your amazing job today. I hope you had a chance to enjoy the greenest zoo in America. We are very, very, very lucky in Southwest Ohio to have this fabulous slice of conservation and wildlife education that they do here at the zoo. So we love partnering with the zoo, and we love hosting our events here. And I hope you guys got a little bit chance to take care of that and see that. So I'm pulling out my notes here because, as you all know, you had all of your fabulous notes that you got to take care of. So before we get started with awards, I do want to thank some people. And for some of you who were here this morning, these are the same people, but we have new folks that have joined us at lunchtime. So I just want to make sure, as I said before, this entire contest takes a village. There's one person that stands up in front of everybody and sends, I don't know, 4 bazillion emails over the entirety of the project. But I truly could not have done this without all of these people helping. So this list of people was the group that looked at all of your proposals. Every single proposal was read a minimum of 4 times. Okay, so these pre-sort judges each read proposals. They were both read twice. They got narrowed down to the top 40-ish, and then they went on to the round of written judging, where at that point, the criteria was a little bit more difficult, a little bit more challenging, and they looked at all of those. Again, every proposal was read again twice, and a lot of these written judges then became mentors to those students, as we talked about before. To our verbal judges, not all of them were able to stay with us today, but we had Eric Beck, our county engineer here, Emily Hepner, who is sitting in the back of the room, who is our assistant chief with the Ohio Department of Agriculture Division of Soil and Water Conservation. We had Scott Huber, who is the chief engineer at Abercrombie and Associates, and Lauren Walker, who is a board member at Hamilton County Conservation District and also a former classroom teacher. And again, I will die on my sword that teachers are the greatest human beings on the planet. So if you have not thanked your teacher for CFW, for everything they do for you, for the extra sports, for whatever it is, please make sure you do that, because our teachers are invaluable, and in a time in our lives where teaching may not be as appreciated as it should be in some places, I'm telling you, you need to appreciate it. Our teachers are amazing, and I've worked with a lot of these people for many, many years, and I super appreciate them. And of course, to our volunteers, our registration ladies headed out earlier. We still have Mindy here with us. Katie Williams is going to help pass out checks in a little bit. And obviously Keith wandering around taking fabulous pictures all day, which again will be on our website and you'll get the link for that. And then a special thanks to all of our families who were supporting this. I started, so some of you, your family members came to that kickoff meeting that we did in January. That seems so long ago at this point. And I started that because about 4 years ago, we did a CFW finals, and I had a parent walk up to me after the end and said, this was the most amazing thing in the world. I had no idea my daughter was doing that. And I was like, well, if it's that amazing, you really should know that. So I really wanted to get the parents more involved. So that's why you guys were invited to that kickoff meeting to really learn how amazing your students, I know you know they're fabulous, okay? But just another way that they are fabulous. So I would like to call up Commissioner Driehaus, who has supported our program for many, many years, and she's going to say a few fabulous words to all of you about your amazing projects. Eric's coming too. Do you want a mic for Eric?
We're going to be bipartisan here. So for those of you that know anything about politics, it's not always bipartisan. So here we are, setting a good example. There we go. There we go. You'll have to guess which one is which. Which is the Republican, which is the Democrat. We'll take a quiz later. So I'm County Commissioner Denise Driehaus. You all know Eric Beck. He was one of the people that was judging the project. So I just wanted to, I was unable to be here for the judging. So I just wanted Eric to say a few words about how fantastic all the projects were because I didn't get to view them. So Eric?
Thank you. First, you guys are in the top 5% of all the applications that were submitted. So that in itself is an accomplishment. What I saw today was fantastic for high school students to be able to put together what they put together, the forethought to see the problem, find a solution, and develop a process to deal with it. Those are great critical thinking skills that are going to do you very well in the future. So whether you get first, second, third, or somewhere below, you guys remember you're still in the top 5% and you're fantastic. Thank you very much for participating.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you for saying that. So one other thing that Eric and I have in common is that we love to have young people into our offices at the county. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what the county does, but we both have internships. We both have young people working in our offices year round. And it is a great opportunity for the students, but it's also fantastic for our offices to have a fresh set of eyes on issues that we're dealing with in our everyday lives and everyday work. So we have that in, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. My office just started a co-op program for college students. This is our 4th year. And I'm a little bit older, so I don't remember doing that. The students that come to our office are so well prepared, way beyond where I was when I graduated college. It's just amazing the energy and the vibrancy that they incorporate into the daily work that they do. They're all willing to jump in, learn things, and none of them are afraid to speak up. I know when I first got out into the workforce, I was afraid to ask questions because I didn't want to look stupid. You guys today, with social media and everything, you're not afraid to speak up for yourselves, and it's fantastic. And our program really encourages our young students to be leaders in our office, and we let them lead. We supervise them, but we let them lead. So keep pushing for yourselves.
Yeah, thank you. And we do internships at the county. So I've got college students coming in year round for internships, paid internships. And I've got some high school students too, that unpaid internships that come in and spend a little time with the county commission. So I'm just going to say just a couple things about the county. The engineer obviously has the work that he does, but the county commission really does a lot in this space of sustainability, of green energy, of all the things that you all have been talking about and some of the priorities that were brought forward. So I'm going to touch on 3 of them really quick. One of them, I know there was some talk about the Mill Creek and about water quality. I saw this contraption over here, pretty cool. It's really fantastic. Who would think of that? You all did. So we are always looking to clean up our waterways. We're under a federal consent decree. So it came down from the federal government. PS didn't give us any money for it, so it's taking longer than it might otherwise. But we are trying to separate sewage from stormwater so that what goes into our waterways is not polluted with sewage, but rather stormwater runoff. It's a great environmental idea. It also keeps us from having to treat in our waste facilities stormwater, which doesn't need to be treated. And over half of the water or what comes into those treatment centers is stormwater. So we're wasting our time treating stormwater. And so we're desperately trying to separate the stormwater from the sewage. It's going to cost over $2 billion with a B, $2 billion for us to do that. And so we were gradually tackling this work, trying to make that happen. Those rates that you're paying, I almost hate to bring this up, but anyway, your sewer rates that are gradually rising, that's what that's paying for. It's not only for the separation of stormwater and sewage, it's also to maintain an infrastructure in the Hamilton County and city of Cincinnati in particular, that's very, very old. Some of the pipes are over 100 years old and they're made of wood. We need to replace them. They're leaking and it's not good for the environment. Secondly, I know some of you were talking about recycling and what the cool rain barrel over here with the knobs on it, really cool. Makes it a lot easier to get the water out of there. And so I want you to know that I'm the chair. This is the sexy stuff we do at the county. We talk about engineering, sewers, and stormwater and garbage. So I am the chair of the Solid Waste Policy Committee. We talk about garbage. And so Rumpke comes into many of our meetings to talk about trying to reduce waste going into the landfill. That landfill has a finite lifespan, and we need to try to keep recycling and organics out of it and only trash in it. It'll expand the life cycle of that landfill. It also keeps us from having to open another landfill somewhere else, right? And so we're in the county heavily into recycling, but now we're starting to get into organics. The city of Cincinnati is a little ahead of us on this with their Green Cincinnati plan, but we are piling on, and we've got a pilot project right now. We're trying to go into the residential side. We're doing some commercial, but the residential piece where people like you want to participate in helping the environment, especially the young people are really keyed into diversion. And so we have a pilot program with a number of farms in Hamilton County where we are putting food stuff and yard waste and letting them use that organic material to eventually fertilize their fields. It's something that we are champions of at the county, and we're just starting out on it. Eventually, we hope to get to more facilities that are accessible to regular people that want to go in their community and dump off their organics to keep them out of the garbage and keep them out of the landfills. So that gives you another piece of what we're doing. Lastly, I wanted to talk about this, but since these signs are up here, so these are pretty cool. Who did these? All right, girls and boys. So I don't know if y'all know this, but we've got a Commission on Women and Girls here in Hamilton County. And that Commission on Women and Girls was part of an effort to get the state to require free period products in schools. And so we're very proud of that work. That should be happening in your schools. If it's not, let me know. But this is the other piece of that, right? If the girls are using period products, how do you dispose of those and keep them out of the waterways? So really important work. I had not thought about this, but I don't know how many of these you have. I'd like to take some of these to the county and put them up in our restrooms because thank you, because this is a great idea. So I hope that gives you a flavor of how involved Hamilton County is in some of the work that you're thinking about and how I want to encourage you, and Eric said it too, you need to keep doing this work. You need to keep working in partnership with us. Eric and I are the same age, so we're both fairly old. But we need new eyes. We need new ideas. This program is all about new ideas and new approaches to the challenges that we have in Hamilton County, whether it's the waterways. And the Mill Creek is the one that's very challenged, but we've got this great group of people working on that thing, cleaning it up. And the county is invested in creating a bike trail next to the Mill Creek from Spring Grove Cemetery all the way down to the river. We've invested millions of dollars in this to reclaim that waterway. So water quality is important and all the stuff that goes around it. Keeping waste out of the landfill that doesn't belong there. These stormwater, sewers, this is our stuff, right? And you guys are interested in it. And I just want to make sure that you know we want you in it. We want you to stay in it. We celebrate that you are thinking through some of these challenges because we need the new eyes and the new minds to start to come in to where we are and help us tackle some of these challenges. And I feel like you guys are the key to unlocking some of those ideas. So I just want to thank you for being part of this program. Thank you for being here. And with that, I'm not turning it over to Gwen. I'm turning it over to Katie. Katie's coming over. Gwen, we got a little something.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. All right. Well, first, guys, what an exciting day. Beautiful facility, right? Congratulations to you guys. First, I just want to take just a minute. I know that we're anxious for what's going to happen soon, but I want you guys to take a look outside. Look at those beautiful trees. What are you not seeing? When you look at beautiful, mighty oak, we'll just say, what are you not seeing? What do you guys not see? Trash. You don't see the roots, right? You don't see the roots. And what you guys are doing right now is you're building roots. Some of you guys have already implemented your projects, but some of you are on your way. And what you're doing is you're building strong roots to make you become the person that you're going to be. And we all strive to grow up and get a job where we're passionate about what we're doing. So I'm fortunate enough to have known Gwen for a really long time. And from the first time I met her, this project was very, very dear to her. And it's dear to me as well. I love seeing what you guys come up with. I love seeing the teamwork. I love seeing your projects come to fruition. And you know what? Gwen helped you to build those strong roots, okay? You guys might not be the huge oaks that are out there right now, but you will be because you're here and you're choosing to make a difference. And over the 17 years that Gwen has done this, let's just think about how many strong trees and strong roots she has helped to create. So with that, I would like for you guys to please stand and give my partner here, the state coordinator for caring for our watershed, a huge hand. And now I will turn the mic back to you.
Somebody's cutting onions in here. I'm not crying, you're crying. Thank you very much, Katie. That is very dear to me. You know I do love this project and I have a lot of passion for it. And again, I couldn't do it without the village and without all of you guys. So thank you for that. And before we do get started, I think this microphone's actually last thing I'm going to go through before we hand out awards. Some of you may have already heard that this is the last year that Nutrien is funding this project. So as of now, we do not have plans to continue this program. I am searching desperately for a funder. So if anybody has 60 grand in your back pocket and would love to donate it to me, I will put it to good use, I promise. If you have 15 grand, if you have 20 grand, I will find partners and put it to good use. So it has been an amazing project. And as Katie said, we have put roots in the ground all over the state of Ohio as part of these amazing projects. And with that, I'm going to recognize a few folks as well. We have had many, many teachers that have been with us for many years as part of this project. I am only recognizing the teachers that have spent more than 5 years with us. But please know, if this is your first year, if this is your second or third year, you are no less important. Okay? Mary Kennedy Brown, unfortunately, is not here with us today. She teaches at John Marshall School of Engineering, which is a Cleveland City school, Cleveland Metropolitan School District school, and she has been part of the Caring for Our Watersheds program for 6 years. So we will make sure that she gets her teacher recognition at some point. Kira Rucker, who is also unable to be with us here today, she teaches at Spencer Center for Gifted and Exceptional Students. She has been a Caring for Our Watersheds teacher for 6 years. This is my favorite picture in the world of Kira, because that was 3 years ago, I believe, when her student was in first place. And this was me announcing the second place winner. So obviously that first place winner knew, and she was so excited for her student, Nadesha. Tanya, who is going to yell at me for putting that picture up there, and I knew she was as soon as I put it up there. Tanya, you have heard her students talk about, Ms. Nakata's going to help us with this. Ms. Nakata's going to do this. Ms. Nakata has been doing that for CFW, for Envirothon, for Green Team, for a bazillion other things. So Tanya, come on up. I have a little plant, and I also have a little card for you. And obviously, thank you so much to Tanya for helping out. Our next teacher, who is, I saw that face, who has been with us for 7 years. We have Mary Beth Reith from Mount Notre Dame High School. So Mary Beth, come on up. I gotcha. And Mindy has a card for you. Thank you so much, Mary Beth. It is also absolutely wonderful that these teachers invite me into their classrooms to be a part of this. They give up their day to have me talk to all their classes, and then they support their students throughout the entirety of the process. We have Tracy. Tracy, where are you? Thank you so much. Tracy from Wyoming High School has participated for 9 years. An interesting thing about Wyoming, this is our 15th year we are doing a CFW. Wyoming has participated 14 of the 15 years. They did not participate the first year we did it. I think at that year we only had like 4 schools participate. But Tracy's predecessor, Tim Niemiller, participated in CFW. And then when Tracy came in, she obviously kept that going and has been with us for 9 years. And I would also like to recognize Kat Sickinger from the Summer Country Day School. So Summit also is one of those schools that have participated for 14 of the 15 years we've been doing this project. I think I have, nope, that's our next one. So I do have 2 that I didn't make slides for. I want to recognize, of course, Katie, right back at you, kid. And I didn't get you a potted plant, I got you a native plant that you can plant in your garden because I knew that's what you wanted. So a little salvia there for you. Thank you. And Mindy has a card for you. And finally, she's not going to be super excited about this, but I want to thank my boss, Sarah Faring. Sarah, get your butt up here. And yes, that's a boss I can say that to. Sarah and I have had a fabulous relationship. She has been my boss now for 3-4 years-ish. And we work together so very well. She has supported me, supporting you guys doing this program, and everything else I do. So I want to thank you for being the best boss ever. And I got you a plant too. I had a great teacher. She was my boss. Okay. So I gave her a plant, and this is kind of our inside joke because we both have plants in the office. And every month or so a new one dies. So we'll see. We are not the best plant mamas, but okay. So thank you all, because I know some of you who are just here for this year, it's like, really, we got to go through this all. But I do appreciate it, and I do want to thank my entire village for being here. So on to the awards. I want to recognize, as Eric said, I don't do math. So top 5% in the state. With that, we do have some special recognition and some honorable mention students that we do like to recognize, because obviously a top 10 is limited to 10. Okay. I don't believe Maddox is here. Okay. So Maddox from Anna High School, which is about an hour north of here, will receive a special recognition award. I do know that Lindsay is here. Where is Lindsay? Lindsay, come on up. So Lindsay from Butler Tech Natural Science Center, and her project was called the Hive Mind. Lindsay, do you want to tell what your project was? Okay, fabulous.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. My project, the Hive Mind, is basically a pollinator garden to help save the bees, which are in fact endangered, which is sad. It's gonna go where our chaos garden was, which is just a bunch of native plant seeds that were scattered, or in another area that I don't know. I don't know what else to say.
Perfect. Thank you. Commissioner Greenhouse has Congratulations, Lindsay. And she will be implementing her project. So fabulous. We have some implementations going on. Jaden, I don't think from Roger Bacon, came today. And Carly and Nicole, we're on tap to you. Okay, come on up, ladies. From William Henry Harrison High School, do you want to talk a little bit about what your project was?
I played golf all 4 years of high school, so every time I go on the course, there's always garbage or like broken tees, and so we came up with the idea to put hooks on all of the golf carts and then provide mesh bags for every player, and they can throw away their garbage in there. And then
also we talked about having like educational like posters around the golf courses to like tell people make sure you throw your garbage away and don't leave your trash everywhere.
Thank you. Right here. That was I think maybe the first time in 15 years we've had a golf course project. That was pretty impressive one. An honorable mention award. Scarlett was coming from Lynchburg Clay. Is Scarlett here? Nope. Okay. Scarlett and Everly had a project called Transform the Waste, Transform the World. And they will receive their recognition, obviously, for that. And Owen and Braden, I don't think were coming. Okay. Also, an honorable mention that they will be receiving recognition for. So to let you know, special recognition members and honorable mention winners will receive a check to say thank you for doing an awesome job. I don't think Ian Max, okay, that group, Jake and Eli from Loveland High School, and also August and Pierce, nope, from Wyoming High School. 2 honorable mention teams will also receive their recognition and their certificates. Okay, so are we finally ready to go home? Okay, bye guys, have a great day. Thanks for coming. No, that's not really fair. So as Eric said, 5%. I know it's always sad to come up with a ranking, but please know wherever you fall in that ranking, truthfully, you are one of the best in the state. So keep that in mind. Those hundreds of proposals we have, and you are here at our top 10 today. So as you know, we had only a top 8 this year. Again, first time that's ever happened in 15 years, but you know, a little bit more money for those of you who are here. So in 8th place with $400 is Millie and Miranda. Their project, the Lighted Up project from Mount Notre Dame High School. Congratulations, congratulations. And then Keith, if you want to do a photo with Commissioner Driehaus in front of this sign and the girls. If you guys want to come right over there and get a picture. And then we will also ask all of our winners to bring your giant checks, and we're going to traipse you all the way downstairs and take a big giant group picture. Okay, maybe we get an elephant in the background. We'll see. Okay, 7th place, winning $450. We have Jack, Nicholas, and Luke with the Eco Brick Bench. Congratulations, gentlemen. Congratulations. Congratulations. I am still absolutely amazed at all of that stuff goes in one tiny little bottle. As I said, I've been doing this for 15 years and I'm still learning things. Parents, if you want to jump up and get a picture, you can jump up and get a picture. I mean, it's not often that your student is the top 10 in the state. Okay. Thank you. Congratulations, gentlemen. Top 8. Yes, top 8. I keep saying top 10. 6th place, winning $500. Hannah, Vivian, Caitlin, and Kyle. Congratulations. Congratulations. So again, their other teammates helped to participate in the project and will help to continue participating in that project, but were unable to come to here because they were participating in another contest today. So thank you very much, ladies. Okay, 5th place, winning $600. We have Sammy, Luciana, and Annie. And the fabulous matching t-shirts. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I have an autographed copy of their book. Congratulations, ladies. Excellent job. Fourth place, winning $700 for their team. We have Raylan and Nina with the Dolls for All. Congratulations. Congratulations. Again, in the 15 years, I don't know that we've ever had any doll recycling projects before. So Thank you. Congratulations, ladies. And to let everybody know, they will receive an actual real check too. I send those out. I kind of hold it hostage because the students actually have to do one more thing for me. They have to do that final report, remember? And you have to send me photographs. And those are due next Friday-ish. Maybe 2 Fridays, I don't know. You know when the timeline is. But after that point, we will process all the checks and you guys will get your check sent to you. So third place, $800 is Haven, Sela, Evelyn, and Zoe. Congratulations. And you have a partner. It is absolutely awesome, not just that Commissioner Driehaus said it, but that making those real world connections between student projects. And yes, we'd love to spread this throughout the county or throughout our business or throughout our community or whatever that looks like. Okay, 2 more teams left. We know those teams. In second place, winning $900 for their team, we have Sophia and Reese with the Cloud Catchers. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Mom and Dad, you can come up here. This is a big deal. And like I said, we will also be doing checks out or pictures outside with the whole entire group so we can get more pictures out there as well. Okay, so first place team, if you guys have been keeping track, Jocelyn and Charlie. With this giant contraption over here. Congratulations, congratulations. Also, I think one of the very few times we've ever had any kind of floating garden or anything as a project for caring for our watersheds. Perfect. Okay. So I want to thank everybody again. I know I've said the word thanks like 400 million times today, but truly I cannot tell you how grateful I am for everybody in this room, everybody that's not in this room, all those people whose names were on the slides. If I forgot anybody, it really takes an amazing village to run Caring for Our Watersheds and to make it as successful as it has been. I have 100% enjoyed my 15-year run as part of this program. I truly hope that today is not the last day. So again, start spreading the word. I have business cards, I think, out on the registration table. You're welcome to take one, send me an email, send me a call. Hey, I might know somebody that's interested. I'm not even asking you to contact them. Just if you know somebody that I can contact and try and raise 60 grand for another CFW next year, because I already have 3 teachers who have told me they have more students last year than they did, or next year than they do this year, and they would absolutely love to participate. So thank you all for coming. Thank you, students, so much for your hard work. I mean, honest to goodness, when you wrote these proposals in September and October, you were like, yeah, great, assignment done, turn it in, move on. And then you had to actually do it. So thank you for doing it so well. And what I would like to do is I would like all of our students with your giant checks to, okay, we're gonna start up here. So parents, you can kind of migrate forward too, so you can get some great pictures, and then we'll go outside and take one too. Keith, do you want a row of chairs for people to sit in front? Okay?